Hello, hello. So I am deciding to tell this story right now. Um, One, because it was the 2-year anniversary of my mother's passing yesterday. And I felt inclined to share it yesterday, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Um, when I woke up today, though, I saw that a friend of mine had lost her brother. Um, and I have another friend who lost her father recently. And this is one of those stories that I know when you lose somebody close to you, it's difficult. No one's saying that they're offering you prayers or wishing you comfort or any of that shit is gonna cut it. Though it's nice and it's kind. Excuse me. The only thing I've seen, or I should say experienced, that works is time. Uh, it's been 2 years since my mother passed. The pain is not as excruciating as it was on a daily basis right after she passed. I still miss her every day. Uh, but the story that I want to tell right now helped me, and it's something I experienced. Um, so I want to share it so I can maybe share this video with the people that I know that might find some kind of comfort in this story. And anyone who finds this video, maybe you'll find comfort. Uh, I'll remind in case anyone finds this and you have not listened to my past videos. I'm kind of a weirdo. Uh, my mother told me that when I was born, I was stuck in the birth canal and they had to shock me back to life on my cranium. She said before they put her under, she heard them say, "We lost him. We're going to lose her." And then they put her under, and she came to wondering if she had a child that was alive. Uh, I'll add this little interesting piece of information. I recently, for the first time in my life, decided to Google being shocked back to life on your cranium. And apparently, uh, this is something that can cause death and can cause brain damage. It is, at least what Google told me, very rarely, it would have to be a severe emergency that this would happen. And when I looked up number of known cases, it said zero. So as far as I know, I'm the only person in the world that's ever been shocked back to life on my cranium. And maybe I should be famous because of this. The reason I bring this up, though, is not to, toot my own horn, but to say, I have heard that people tend to be open to things, whether you want to call it paranormal or supernatural or spiritual or whatever. Uh, People that have experienced near-death experiences, traumatic things, especially at birth, tend to be open to the kind of experiences that I'm about to share with you, and that I've shared. If you want to hear more like this, similar, I guess, go check out the rest of my channel, or at least when I stopped playing music and started talking because I broke my hand. Anyway, so my mother passed away January 26th of 2023. And shortly thereafter, a lot of things happened. What I'm going to focus on right now is the robin. Within probably about 2 weeks, within the first 2 weeks of my mother passing, I started seeing this red-breasted robin in the backyard. I'm living in the house that she was living in, so it was her backyard. It's also my backyard. Um, I would go and knock. I'd see it out the window in the back, and I'd knock on the window, and blue jays, squirrels, everything would fly up. If I walked out there, everything would go up, up the trees because here comes me. But this little red-breasted robin would stay on the ground. If I got too close to the red-breasted robin, it would fly up. So it wasn't a broken bird. Its wings worked fine. Um, And I saw this bird outside every day for about 4 months. And I'm not exaggerating when I say every day, because every time I went out in the backyard for about 4 months, it was out there. I specifically remember, I don't know if I might have written it down somewhere. I have a list of things that have happened, weird things, since my mom passed. But the point is I specifically remember the first day I went out there and it wasn't there. But I used to go out there, and it got to the point where we have a little fire pit that we made out of cinder blocks. And I would go sit on the chair next to the fire pit. And this bird was always on, it would hop around on the ground. It would come about 6 feet away from me and just hang out and look at me. And then most of the time it would go and it would sit under my mom's old bedroom window where she would sleep before she passed. Probably within a week or two, maybe 3 weeks, I started singing this lullaby to the bird. It was a lullaby that my mother used to sing to me. It goes, I love you, that's all that I can say. I love you, that's all that I can say. And my mother would go through this when I was a kid, and she would just sing, I love you to me. So I started singing this to the bird. And the bird would stick around and listen. And like I said, it stuck around for 4 months. I have a really interesting relationship with the number 4. So it's interesting that it stuck around for 4 months. That's another video. It would be really easy for me to digress in many different directions. I'm going to try to stay on course and just tell this story. So after about 4 months of this bird hanging out under my mom's bedroom window and hanging out in front of me. And I should also mention, within a few weeks, also I went on Google and I Googled spiritual significance of a red-breasted robin. And every website or culture that had anything to say about it mentioned that a red-breasted robin showing up a lot after a loved one passes is them letting you know that they're okay. Meanwhile, there was a lot of other stuff going on too, though, but I'm just going to focus on the bird in this video. So I remember the first day that I went into the backyard, about 4 months in, after she passed, and the bird wasn't there anymore. And I remember looking around and I was like, that's weird. Pretty sunshiny day. No robin. And I didn't think too much of it. I went about my day. Excuse me. Ginger ale, Jesus. So I went about my day. And the next day, I went back there. And I didn't see it. And I remember thinking, this is day 2. Day 2, no robin. And I'm telling the story wrong because I didn't think day 2, no robin yet. I went into the backyard and of course I would, what am I, 9 minutes in? I'm going to tell the story. Screw the story up 9 minutes in. But no, when I went, it's been a while. Like I said, this was 4 months after she passed. It's been 2 years now. When I went into the backyard the second day with no robin, the first thing I saw was a butterfly that was flying around me. And it would come, I mean, it would literally like touch my face and touch my shoulder, and like it was all around me. And then it would land on a leaf or land on the back of a chair in my backyard. And I would watch it. It would land facing the other way, and then it would turn to face me. It would land on the ground and then turn to face me. And I've had pretty good luck with butterflies landing on me in the past. So I took my phone out. I figured I'm going to get it on my finger. And I kept trying and it wouldn't come up on my finger. And so at one point it landed about 2 feet away from me, and I crouched down and I spoke to the butterfly and I said, look, I'm not trying to rip your wings off. I'm not trying to kill you or anything. I'm not a threat. I just, it probably looked crazy too, talking to a butterfly if anybody was watching. But I said, I just want to get a picture for Facebook. And I put my finger out after saying this, literally, put my finger out right in front of the butterfly, and it crawled up on my finger, which was crazy in and of itself. Um, and I took my Facebook picture and I stood up and I went to kind of like go like that. It was still on my finger, and I kind of flicked it. And as I was doing that, I thought to myself, this is when I thought to myself, this is day 2. The red-breasted robin is nowhere. And so in my head, the thought came, because I'd been singing that lullaby to the bird. I thought, I wonder if I sing the song, if the bird will come. And I was facing the fence in my backyard, the neighbor behind this house. And I started to sing the song. And I got about 3 words out of my mouth. I love you. And right around there, this bird comes flying from somewhere in the direction I was facing, and lands about 6 feet in front of me. And I continued singing the song, thinking, bullshit. There's no way, I just thought, I wonder. And then I start singing it, and the bird comes immediately. And, I almost had tears in my eyes. And I finished, I sang through the entire lullaby, the way my mom used to sing it. And the bird, while I was singing, flew up on my neighbor's fence to the left of me. I wasn't finished the song yet. I kept singing, and it faced me. It turned and faced me on the fence. And the song, the lyrics are basically, I love you. But when I finished the song, I looked at the bird for a second, and I said, I love you. And the bird flew away. And I didn't see it again for about a year. And, this was around spring, almost summer, and it was next spring, almost summer. My son was at the house, and I remember I had the curtain drawn. We have a sliding glass door, which we can't open, by the way, because it's messed up. If I open it and it gets jacked, it's taken me like 30 minutes to try to close the door all the way. But we have I can open the drapes, and let some sunshine in. So I had the curtain drawn one day, but it was raining outside. My son was over. And I walked by the door at one point, and all of a sudden I see something hopping by, and I was like, what the hell was that? And I went and I looked out the door, and I looked in the direction that the thing had hopped, and here's this little red-breasted robin I'm talking, it's storming outside, and here's this little robin. And I called my son. I was like, Heather, come check this out. This little bird is just sitting out here in the rain. And it sat out there for a good while. And, we finally went on with our evening. And the next day, I looked out I opened the curtain to the sliding glass door, and I saw the bird sitting on the fence. And like I said, I hadn't seen a red-breasted robin for almost a year. And so I went outside and kept my distance, but I was kind of checking out the bird and talking to it as if it was my mother, like a crazy person would. And at a certain point, it flew up to a tree branch above me. And when I looked up, I saw there were 2. And the one that was actually up there flew down to the fence on a different part of the fence. And at this point, I'm like, Okay, I think one of you is mom. I don't know which one. Uh, and I said something to the effect of, excuse me, this was not happening before I started making a video, but I said something to the effect of, uh, you've shown up as a bird and you've shown up in numerical form, et cetera, et cetera. I've had all these weird signs, I believe, from my mother since she passed. And I said, you've shown up in all these different ways. I was like, can you pull some strings and make me win the lotto, or, do something in this way? Because this would help me quite a bit. And I was, half serious, half speaking in jest. And I got to go back to the first bird to tell the end of this story. So the first bird that I mentioned, and I don't know if it was the first bird or the same bird, or if it's my mom as a bird, or if you're listening to this going, okay, this guy's crazy, click away. But my mom, and this is where it gets kind of personal, but I don't care because this is part of the story. And I think it's a pretty cool part of the story. So my mother, especially towards the end of her life, she had a lot of medical, physical problems. But one of them was going to the bathroom, number two. And she took a lot of, fiber and just stuff to help her go. It was always an issue. And this first robin that I mentioned, the first 4 months after she passed, there were many times it would hop up, and I've never had a bird do this, like just hang out around me, and, hop close to me, but not too close. And, which is honestly, it's part of the reason I started singing the lullaby. I was like, what if my mom's a bird now and she kind of remembers me, but kind of doesn't? So what can I say? What can I do to remind her? So I used to say her name a lot, Carol Marie Teresa Comte Bonicaz, Grandma, Mom. And then I started singing the lullaby with all the other stuff. And, probably 5 or 6 times in that 4 months, maybe more, but enough that it was noticeable. The bird would fly up onto a fence or a branch and turn around and shit. And I remember thinking, you're showing me, because my mom would tell me her problems, man, all the time. And I was like, you're showing me that it's okay now. You can take a shit. And so back to a year later, and this bird's on the fence and it flies up, and then this other bird that's up there flies down. And I'm talking to this bird and I'm talking to the other one, and I'm like, okay, one of you is mom. I don't know which one, but that's when I said the thing about the lotto, if you could help me win the lotto. And all of a sudden the bird that had flown down from the tree, and remember, I was thinking the one that was on the fence at first was her, and it flew up. But the bird that had flown down turned around, which is what the bird that I was sure was her for 4 months used to do. It would turn around and it would bird poop off the fence. So when the bird that had turned around, I looked at the bird that had turned around and I just said it. I said, okay, take a shit. And as soon as I said that, the bird that was on the fence initially, that had flown to the branch above me, it was about probably a foot above me, or a foot in front of me, but straight up. And as soon as I looked at that bird on the fence and I said, take a shit, I mean, within a split second, the bird above me, bird crap, fell right in front of me, and I watched it fall. Some people might hear this story and go, this is ridiculous, this is crass, but I don't care. This is my experience. This is my story. And I'm pretty sure that bird that was on the fence that flew back up, that was my mom. And she took a shit. And I'm happy that she did, because it gave me a sense of comfort beyond what time can provide, to let me know that we have ways to communicate with each other beyond space and time, beyond death. And I could look at this easily and go, well, this is, we're in a Matrix simulation like experience, and the aliens or whoever the hell put us here, they're typing in code to make me think that this bird's my mother and watching me go crazy. And maybe that is the case. But the fact of the matter is that everything that happens to us in life, especially with experiences like this, we have the option to believe or not believe whatever we want, whether it is the Matrix or the aliens or God or Jesus or Buddha or the Muhammad, whatever the case may be when it comes to spiritual things. The fact of the matter is it all requires faith if we're going to jump in one direction or the other. And the truth of the matter is we're here. If God exists, God put us here, especially if God exists not in the form of us, which I'll get into that later. But if God exists in the form of another being or entity that is not us, that God put us here and completely left the scene to let us figure it out. And so my choice in figuring this situation out is that this bird was my mother. And I believe she was letting me know that she's okay. At least specifically with regard to going to the bathroom, she's much more okay than she used to be. And that used to be her main complaint. When, right before she passed, it was an issue for her. And so I'm sharing this story, because I wanted to share it. I've wanted to share it for a while, and I haven't brought myself to do it. But also, I'm going to share this to other people, friends, family, strangers, whatever crosses my path. That people, I think, may take comfort in hearing this story. And if you listened all the way to, where are we, 22 minutes and 30 seconds? If you listen this far and you still have this feeling of, well, why can't a situation like this happen to me? I get it. Not everybody has these experiences. I've had a lot of them. Go look back at my channel. I've had these experiences all my life. I think I'm open to this kind of thing. I think I'm open to this kind of thing because I died at birth. I also died when I was 14 years old. That story's also further back in my channel. And some people are, some people aren't. I think I have this feeling that anyone who seeks it out can be open to these things. But as with anything, you can't think about it for a week and then expect things to happen. I believe we're capable of more than we know as human beings. But anybody who's watched the Olympics, you watch somebody doing triple twists and quadruple flips in the air, and we're capable of that as human beings. But how many of us can do it? You can't just watch the Olympics and expect, oh, well, I'm not doing that, so that's bullshit. And you can't just go take gymnastics for a week or a month or 2 months probably, and expect to be doing that. Like, it takes time. Anything takes time. Imagine anybody who's ever tried to pick up an instrument. I play guitar. I didn't play the way I play now the first few months even, it's taken, I'm still progressing, even though my hand is broken, and I'm probably not progressing so much lately. But the point is anything that you want to occur, especially when it comes to human abilities, you got to keep at it. You have to keep trying and keep paying attention. So I would offer that to anyone who listens to this story and says, well, that's bullshit that happened to you. And I'm not seeing a bird, or I'm not seeing numbers, or I'm not seeing all these things. keep trying. Get try to train your attention. Anybody who's ever meditated knows you have to. It takes a lot of focus to stop thinking all your bullshit thoughts. you know, um, or maybe lack of focus, I should say. Just that it's that surrender, it's that giving up, and that's really hard for us because we are going. Think about the lives we live. Wake up, go to work, breakfast, lunch, dinner, pick up the kids, raise the kids, do you know what I mean? It's like it's nonstop. And if we want to peer through the cracks of reality as we know it, there's the idea of paranormal or supernatural, and I think these terms are not really. They only are what they are because not many people focus their attention. You know, a gymnast isn't supernatural or super normal. They've just really, really put a lot of time and effort into their craft. So I think a lot of the things I've experienced, a lot of the things other people have experienced with regard to the paranormal or the supernatural are perfectly accessible to you if you haven't experienced these things. You just have to give it time, and you have to focus on these things. And if you do that, uh, you know, let me know in the comments what happens if you do that for a time. Um, but like I said, don't expect a few days, a few weeks, even a few months necessarily. I mean, you have to dig in sometimes to figure out what's going on, to become knowledgeable or wise in anything. And I'm not saying that to say I call myself knowledgeable and wise, but I will say that it's been 27 minutes, and it would be knowledgeable and wise for me to shut up at this point. I really thought I was going to sit down and make this a short video. Echo knows. It's really hard for me to just make a short anything. Anyway, that's the story of my mom passing away and possibly turning into a red-breasted robin, or at least taking the form of that to give me comfort. And I'm taking this time to hopefully transfer the comfort that I've gotten onto you or anyone who happens across this video. And yeah, that's it. Anyone who has lost a loved one, a parent, a sibling, a significant other, husband or wife, especially if it's been recent, I will tell you that time will ease the pain. It won't take care of it entirely, but it will ease the pain. And if anything I said, if you can believe that it's true, I can guarantee you these are true stories that I've been telling on my channel. But if you can believe it, and if it offers you any kind of comfort, any sense of peace inside to listen to what I had to say, I'm honored to be able to. I thought I'd get through this video without crying, man. I'm honored to be of any kind of service, even if it is just telling a stupid story about a bird that can take a shit. Oh my God. I miss my mom. I love her very much. And I know exactly if you're missing anyone that you love very much that isn't here anymore, I know exactly how you feel. And if this video didn't offer any comfort, I wish it upon you. I really do. Because death is clearly the shittiest part of life. And But every now and then some interesting things happen, and we get by and we keep on going until we finally drop dead. We're all walking through that door, I always say. And you know, it's a strange experience, this life. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for every living person that is still here. I'm grateful for all those that have passed, that have shown me love and shown me some kind of guidance. And yeah, gratitude at the end of the day. It's your best friend. And with that said, I'm actually going to shut up now. I wish you comfort. I wish you peace. I wish you happiness. And I wish you many, many good things upon your way. Only love.